This is the most anticipated OTA update of the year. This is the one that had to address Star-Lord. So, did it actually change anything? What's up, everybody? Kicker of Elves here. Hope y'all are having a fantastic day wherever you're at. The new OTA is live. Let's jump into it. Let's start with the biggest nerf of the bunch. We've got Star-Lord going down from a 4-5 to a 4-3. They cite that even though in their internal data, like he's not doing insane, like he's warping the metagame. Anybody who's been playing this game for the past month knows how ubiquitous and strong and just like how omnipresent this card is. So him going from a 4-5 to a 4-3 isn't what I wanted. I wanted a Mr. Fantastic First Steps level nerf. They clearly don't want to do that. That's left a sour taste in many people's mouths because, as you can see, I'm referencing that nerf as a nerf that deletes a card from the game pretty much. This, like Sholau, is a more iterative adjustment. There's other cards in that package they've touched down. But what I will say for this is that a lot of the big combo pop-off power from Star-Lord came in multiplying his effect. So a lot of the problem became, on top of being the best Juggernaut deck, the best Alioth, the best Fin Fang Foom deck, you ended the game with like 2 or 3, depending on how crazy you were popping off, very respectable power Star-Lords on the board. Now, ultimately, this does nothing to address the amount of energy that you can have going into the final turn of the game. But this is something. I want them to do something. Much like the Sholau nerf from last month, I didn't expect it to kind of work as well as it did. I don't think we really got to see just how impactful the Sholau nerf was last month, where there was just a lot of power. It was the same thing as this. They just reduced it by 2 power because of how soon Star-Lord came out after. So we'll have to see. If it's still warping, we'll hopefully they'll come back to it. I just hope that with enough of the PowerPoint reductions, people just stop playing the card because they think, oh, it's nerf, we want to something else, and people forget about this, because I never want to see this deck again. Do I think this is enough? No, I would have liked them to take a much stronger hand to this because its effect is very Mr. Negative-like, and they put Mr. Negative on the season pass, so many people were just playing Mr. Negative mirrors, but this is like Mr. Negative's cooler older brother. So, yeah, glad they did something. I don't think it's enough. Another adjustment they've made is they're touching down Alioth from a 6-8 to a 6-7. 6-7. That's fine. Alioth probably shouldn't be a good card. It is worse Juggernaut in a lot of cases, but like the 1 power adjustment, I don't like these 1z, 2z buffs and nerfs. When they buff cards, even if it is a 1z, 2z that everybody has, I'm for it, but we're playing Alioth to just totally shut down the text on the opponent's card, so oftentimes its power isn't as significant. Like we're shutting down the fact we're removing Iron Man's text. Like 1 less power doesn't do a lot. Glenn Jones has said in the past that they've never done this to a card and seen its win rate improve, as in they've never reduced a card's power and like seen it got better. So I'm for it. Alioth being as good as it was a big part of why Man-Spider had to go, and I miss Man-Spider. So even if this on its face isn't enough in terms of the stats of what they're changing, if they've adjusted, I'm trying to collect myself here, if they've adjusted it in such a way that people stop playing it, even if it's not as bad as it looks, then mission accomplished. I will happily take that situation. Another adjustment to the package, just the last 2 of the Star-Lord package that they've changed here, is the adjustment to Fin Fang Foom. Fin Fang Foom going from a 7-12 down to a 7-10. 2 points of power is meaningful, but when we're talking about the Star-Lord package, you're playing so many other things, and you're often able to Zola the Fin Fang Foom, that the 2 power, kind of similar to Star-Lord himself, isn't probably going to be enough. I think Fin Fang Foom, regardless of Star-Lord's presence, needed to get a nerf in some way, shape, or form. But like, I don't know if it's enough. If we count this, Alioth and Star-Lord, this is at base a 5 power nerf to the big combo version of the deck, and it's often going to be even more than that because Star-Lord you're copying multiple times. So let's just say it's like a 7 power nerf. That's not nothing. I hope that is enough to scare people off. Again, we did not get enough time post Sholau nerf like the actual final nerf where they hit like Spider-Ham and stuff before Star-Lord released and shook everything up. But in that week or so after, Strolao still seemed fine. I think that deck was still being played. So it's hard to see if like they're trying to do another one of those here. I just genuinely don't know if it's going to be enough. I don't know if this is going to do it. I hope it does. And on all other normal situation with Fin Fang Foom, this changes the question of do they have 10 power in the backline or 12 power in the backline, or do they have 10 power? So maybe that's something. Maybe, just maybe, that's going to be enough, but I somehow doubt it. So dang it all. Let's talk about some buffs here. They're changing Rocket and Groot from a 3-2 to a 3-3. I'm cool with that. Unfortunately, it makes the Batroc, Shola, like that sort of list, the Iris and Cougar list that have been popularized, that they popularize in a lot of ways, makes that deck better. And a lot of people would say that deck doesn't need a buff. I love playing it. I feel like this becomes an easy slot in over something like Nightcrawler or whatever other flex spot that list was playing. Rocket and Groot getting a point of power back in any other meta makes sense, but like if they deleted Star-Lord from the game, that style of deck probably becomes the Apex Predator, and this is just yet another toy going to that. On a similar note, they're increasing Jeff's power from 2-3 to 2-4. They cite in the OTA notes that this should have happened alongside the Nightcrawler buff, and yes, it should have, but we now have a reason to play Jeff in some capacity at 2-4. That's, that is now like the vanilla stat line. I don't know if we're playing Jeff all of a sudden. I'm probably not doing it. But again, this is a real question of like, does this go in the Sam Wilson Batroc sort of list? Does this have a chance to go on the Iris list? I love Jeff. I have very fond memories with Jeff. I'm happy that it is now not just objectively worse Nightcrawler, but I don't know if this is like the sea change it needs for that deck for Jeff to come back into any real decks. Magus. Okay, this is interesting. It's pre-OTA, it was a 3-5. Now they're dropping it to a 2-3. I still don't think this is a good card. They talk about it in the patch notes, but until this card can copy on reveals, this is like, yeah, like I guess like, I forget who said this, if it was Smiles or Cougar or somebody else, just said that like Magus as a 2-3 is now just another Cerebro card, which sure that is a deck. It's cool that Magus gets to have a deck, but this card is kind of just I don't see this taking over the meta or becoming a really strong meta staple. I can see this going into a Cerebro list, but unless it can copy on reveals, it's kind of a dead card. They cite like, oh, we're already such a small deck size, and there's all this like, we don't need the consistency thing, and like there's so many other ways to copy a card's text. I guess the concern here is that Magus is now copying. The issue with like the stuff with like Prodigy, Jocasta, and all that stuff is you actually have to draw and play those cards. Magus is now a consistency piece that's saying, I didn't get to draw or play this card, but I still get to copy it anyway. It is an additional dig into the deck and a more targeted capacity than Jubilee. And maybe they just rework this card because 2-3 likely still not enough. Sebastian Shaw going from 3-4 to 3-5 here. Sure, this is fine. I think Surfer needs some love. That deck is an iconic Marvel Snap deck. Silver Surfer, one of the original super OP cards post-launch that's been adjusted, and it comes and goes. Heart of the Card's probably happy in some way, but from like a payoff perspective, or like you've got your broods. Shaw already got decently big. Like they're I don't know if it needs just like a little bump in power, or if it needed like another, like not Jack Flag, but another card in a similar vein that gives some overall like benefits to Surfer archetype. The same way, if you look at the data mines for March, like the Patriot Rocks is getting a lot of love with Ozymandias, and is it like Selene of Pestilence? There are a good number of cards that are boosting zero, like vanilla cards that don't have any text. Surfer needs something like that, I think, not just little iterative power updates, but most people probably have Shaw. I'm happy to see it get a little bit of love. I'm glad they made some adjustments to Star-Lord first and foremost. They're not just letting it sit. They're doing it before the end of the season, so when it hits snap packs, people understand what the nerf thing is. I am and I hope I'm wrong, I am not optimistic that these changes to Starlord, Alioth, and Fin Fang Foom are going to meaningfully nerf the package. I wish we had more time with Shou Lao after his nerf. Said that like 4 times. I wish we had more time with Shou Lao post nerf before Starlord came out so we could see just how much that did before Starlord changed everything. Because what I did is immediately started playing Man Spider and just destroying all the people who were still trying to play Shou Lao stuff. But you know, this is anywhere from 4 to 8 to 9 power off that deck, and that sounds like a lot, but that deck can just hit such ridiculous numbers at the turn 6 plays that it's hard to say. Rocket and Groot and Jeff getting some power, sure, I like those move decks. I don't know about that. Magus is still unplayable. Let's see. I'm excited to keep playing. I'm excited for the new season. I want to love this game as much as I normally do, and it's been kind of a down month for now. I'm Kicker of Elves. Thank you all so much for watching the video. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.